Welcome back to the playbook. It's your boy Lion, joined by my fellas, my man at arms, the enforcer himself, the man with the plan, Mr. E. What's going on, brother?
What up? What up? Just chilling. We're back in the studio.
And this is a throwback because I haven't said this in a few episodes, and you guys missed it. No, you guys missed it too. We have the man who wears so many hats. He's wearing a nice one today.
How many hats?
It could be a Ferrari hat. It could be a Lambo hat. It could be a special agent. Hey, it could be a doctor. Maserati. You name it. He got them all.
What kind of hat am I wearing?
Special agent. Mr. Smith. What's going on?
What's up? It's your boy. Anyway, glad to be here. The playbook, we're back. We're back live, kicking it. We have a very, very special guest this week, a friend of mine who goes back a long way. Shout out to the DC salsa scene, Shaka Brown, Scion, my people out there, Earl Rush.
Time out. So let's say this. And just to interrupt, I interject. Shaka, we need to have you in the episode because this is what happened. You may
Shaka
not see
doesn't
it.
exist.
You may not see it because we're cutting
just
almost
talk
every
about
single
him all the time.
episode.
Yeah.
But you are mentioning every single episode. My man, Shaka Brown, I'm laying a challenge to you. Take a flight, come down to the playbook. We need to have you. We need to have you in our guest spot, aka the G spot. You need to come down.
That's the G spot, baby.
And be part of the show because you have been mentioned every single episode. You might as well be part of the crew.
That's right.
I'm saying that.
You might as
We
well.
want to hear the stories.
That's right. And I'm telling you, because I'm writing 2 books right now, right? One of them is fiction about a special agent. It's going to be a cool book. Should be, hopefully done this year. And I'm also writing an autobiography. But in the autobiography, there's a special place and chapter for Shaka Brown's barbecues. Because what you don't understand as dancers, Shaka Brown used to have barbecues at his house.
Is that like Freaknik?
It was like Freaknik for salseros.
God damn it.
People would come from freaking
I wish I was there.
Atlanta, New York, Jersey,
Oh, yeah.
Toronto.
Yes.
Toronto.
Toronto.
No, Toronto.
To Shaka Brown's barbecues. Epic. And we dance upstairs, downstairs in the yard. We barbecue. We had motorcycles out front, and people fell asleep. And I'd try to leave, and I'd be stepping over people from all over the United States trying to get out to my car and my motorcycle. It was just epic. Epic.
Wow.
That's that was the love in the salsa scene when I started dancing. So
Junior.
right. So anyway, so we got to the point where we're, like I said, we're gonna move forward with this episode. So we have Bianca, who's a very old friend of mine, close, I don't know, 18,
10, 12 years.
12, 15, how many? So we met, no, because we met when you were in the DC scene, but I came from DC here, but I'd just been here, and that was
You just left DC.
So that was 2007.
Holy shit.
17, yeah.
Man, I wasn't even born.
2007. That's why Harold didn't know what peaches and cream was. But but you have to go back and look at that.
I still thought it was a butler. I thought it was a butler.
It's because he's Dominican.
Said the Puerto Rican.
They don't got peaches and
shots
cream
fired.
in DR.
That's funny.
You know all the peaches. You know what?
In DR? Oh yeah.
Tell me about the peaches in DR.
We don't got peaches, but we got some. We definitely got strawberries.
Can I
And we
officially say
definitely
hi?
bring the cream.
No, in DR you have some
officially say
peaches
hi?
up in that joint. I'm like, what the?
You want to say
Oh,
hi?
yeah.
Way before
You want to say hi?
Can I officially say he hasn't even finished introducing me?
Bianca, tell us about yourself. This is my homegirl. She's also she's a fellow dancer, salsera. She's from DC. She's from the DMV area. She's also a former veteran, a combat veteran. She was Navy. So yeah, I don't do ships because I don't swim like that. But I know that B can say I'm a stereotypical.
We don't swim. We do not swim.
Right, bro.
Like who we swimming?
I swim enough not to die. I jump
Sorry.
out.
I do.
He's
Good.
from the suburbs.
Good.
That's why-
He's a
Thank you.
suburb, right.
Island people don't swim.
He's from the suburbs. Yeah, that's right. So
We got to blow away that
Unless you're
stereotype.
rich.
I can't help you with that, dog. They try to figure out how. They like, dude, how you all up in air assault school?
He's so
and
good at
airborne school,
everything.
Like, yeah, I was like, no.
Throw him
nigga.
in the water.
I was like, man, I will fight.
That's his kryptonite.
72 ninjas. I will fight 72 ninjas before I let somebody throw me in the deep end of a pool.
But without further ado, we got a special guest in our G spot. Bianca, let us know what's up. How's it going?
Hi, guys. Thank you for having me. I'm having a raspy voice day today, so No, I'm really glad to be here today. Thank you. I'm very excited when Tracy was like, "Hey, come see us, sit with us." And I'm like, "I'm down. Let's do it."
I was so happy when she came in and the Orlando Salsa Congress was this past weekend. It was a great event. If you missed it,
So good times, good times.
fantastic
It was really
times.
good.
Yeah, so I was so happy to see Bianca and some of the other crew. And I was like, she said, "Oh, I'm going to be in Tampa for a minute, a few days." And I was like, "Well, shoot, we're about to shoot an episode. Come out and be a special guest." Because she is, I wish you lived here because you possibly could be vying for our first permanent guest. Yeah. Because she's bringing that freaking the
Look at being part of
ritmo.
our summer special episode, which is happening one of these
I'm
days.
down. I'll fly up from Puerto Rico. Shoot.
Don't
Or
tell me
we'll
with a
come-
good time.
That's
tell me
right.
with a good time.
Don't. We'll move the G spot down to Puerto Rico. We'll come to Puerto Rico and shoot
We
it.
can do a San Juan Carolina version.
Right?
We'll set you up on the beach next to the
Oh,
house.
that sounds good.
See, don't play.
I love Puerto Rico.
Don't
Yeah.
tell
Love
us
Puerto
with a
Rico.
good time. This is a playbook.
Boy, it's a play.
We go hard.
What's the
Let's
play?
do it.
What's the play, baby?
What's the
do
play?
it.
So to get back to the business at hand. So this is a week's topic. There was a video that's going viral, and this is about these two streamers from Kick who went to I believe it was in Bahamas.
Well,
right?
wait, now
No.
tell-
It was in
Vegas.
Vegas.
It was in Vegas.
sorry.
But wait, tell
You
people
know.
what Kick is, because I didn't know what Kick was.
So
Besides,
Kick is a
I'm a
streaming-
karate guy. and I
They
know.
know.
Kick is a
They know
streaming
Kick-
platform
that's hurtfully.
competing with Twitch. Some of the top streamers from Twitch moved to created their own streaming platform
That's
because they wanted to be
KIK, right?
free,
KIK.
and they're backed up by a lot of the Vegas casino money. So that's what a Kick is. So
Okay.
these streamers from Kick went to Vegas and they approached this couple that is making now then the lovey like mwah phase of their relationship, and they get very aggressive. They get very
The kick people do.
very rude, and at some point they even pull out a gun. And we're gonna be showing some parts of the video.
And they pepper sprayed the couple.
and
They
they
really
pepper spray the couple.
Yeah.
So that's what we're gonna be talking about. What are the extremes that people are willing to go to be famous, to get noticed, and to get that moolah, to get that cash? I'm gonna start with Mr. E, just because I know when I go to Doc, he's gonna go off. It's gonna go off, So I'm gonna leave Doc. I'm gonna leave this side of the room for last.
Yeah, because
What's
we
up,
will.
Mr.
We,
Reed?
we,
They're gonna shut it down.
We have the defensive posture here.
Right.
We got the veterans
Right.
here. We got the non-veterans, or we'll call it virgins. I mean, because we don't have veterans.
Oh, you're
Is
just
that-
No, we're
you're
just regular
you're
civilians,
just thinking.
ordinary
Yes,
people. My issue with this whole thing is something that we touched on before, which is the fact that these streaming platforms are encouraging this behavior, whether directly or indirectly. They're encouraging it. These streamers, they have no talent, which is why they resort to doing things to get a rise out of people that are minding their own business. And in a lot of cases, we're seeing now regular people that are minding their own business are getting in dangerous situations, which is a problem. And I think it's only going to escalate further. My thing is, I believe that if the platforms don't police themselves, then there needs to be some type of regulation to police themselves.
Legislation, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, the thing with Kick is that Kick was created for them to have that kind of freedom. I think people are abusing that freedom, and people are thirsty. They're starving for attention and for that fame. And with that fame and attention and the infamy comes a lot of money. So this is the
I'm
incentive.
gonna make you famous if you roll up on me like
But
that.
that's good for them.
You're gonna be a
They are
star.
looking.
No.
There was a
They won't be able to
prankster.
live their fame.
You remember? No, a few months ago there was a prankster that agitated this guy at a supermarket. He got shot in the stomach.
Only once, then he wasn't
He got a
affected.
couple times.
Which
A double
Shot.
tap. That's what we
Huh?
do. Double
They
tap.
got the prankster.
prankster?
He was agitating a guy at the supermarket for a prank, and the guy just pulled up and bang.
And that's what should happen
And
if
that's-
you threaten somebody.
And like these people are trying to find what is the next stream that I can go to so I can get noticed, I can get paid. Everybody wants to be the next hot Tua girl just to get that cash. And I don't want to talk about necessarily censorship because that's the beautiful thing about the internet is that that is the one place that you can really you can go different forums and platforms and say whatever you think and it can be a force for good. But just like everything. There's a yin to the yang of everything. So you're gonna have the negative side, and that's what we're seeing right now in this era where everything is IRL in real life. Everybody wants to be the craziest one, the most daring one, the most extreme. And
That's
at
it.
some point, something's gotta give, because we're either gonna end up with some people dead, and it might be too late at that point.
Hurt.
Oh, that's what's gonna
Absolutely.
happen.
So,
Bianca,
what's-
let me hear your thoughts before Doc
Oh
blows up.
yeah. No, I'm good. I'm good.
I have a really defensive posture on this, obviously, and I was telling him earlier. It's like, okay, so if you take out streaming and this and that, right? Let's take that away, and you step up to someone, no camera or anything, and you make a loud comment like that, and you invade somebody's privacy, whether you are in a public forum or not, you are absolutely opening up yourself for someone to anything, attack you, defend themselves, just react in a way that perhaps they'll, regret later.
That's why it was in Vegas and not Florida. I'll say that, because it would have been different here.
And then you're doing something in a
They
place.
do it here. Go ahead.
It doesn't matter where you do it. Like
Yeah.
you don't expect that to happen.
Doesn't happen to any of my friends.
Right? I've never had anybody come up to me and be like, "Oh, where you?" And that would be a problem.
Yeah.
Absolutely be a problem.
There's, like you said, they're invading your space. So I wish we had a lawyer, because we're not lawyers, but I believe that is some form of assault or
I mean,
some
I
form
watched
of
plenty of
agitation.
Law and Order, so
Yeah. So you could actually fear for your life because you have a stranger invading your personal space, like you said. You don't know them. You don't know what they're going to do. So you have to take a defensive posture, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you.
Doc, look at that camera right there, that beautiful camera. You might want to take your glasses off. Be like,
I've been woo-signed
and just
over here the
go,
whole
just go to
time.
town. Just go to town. Let him have it. Just go on that table and just drop it in front of them.
Okay, so first off, we have to look at the scenario that transpired, right? There were so many things wrong. I'm gonna put my special agent hat on now.
There we
That's
go.
what we put on.
Let's
Okay.
do it.
So you were in question about what is actually a violation of law or potentially a threat or assault. It varies from like municipality to municipality. I apologize. But so some places, if you have to physically put your hands on somebody to constitute a simple assault, but sometimes, depending on the state or where you are and the individual's actions, you can indeed argue that you were in fear for your safety or your life in your reaction to somebody invading your space. So I think in this video, these people tried to argue that there's a different thing about expectation of privacy, right? In most places now, unless they change the laws, and some laws need to change. You hit on this. Laws need to change in regard to like what Lion said. There needs to be freedom of speech or expression on the internet, but to an extent, there needs to be a limit. That's why the FCC, at one point in time, you couldn't say damn on TV, and now you can do all kind of stuff because times have changed or whatever. But ultimately, networks are still not going to allow you to do anything that is harmful to people or society, and they potentially have liability for what
There it is.
transpired.
So that's going to be, if nothing.
I don't know if I agree with that. I have to step in and say,
Really?
because I think
I like
networks,
it. I like that you don't agree.
I think networks, they may not do something that may affect their ability to market a product, to get advertisers. I think that's the goal, is the money. It's not necessarily that affects society, because there's plenty of shows or plenty of stuff they put on TV that may not be the best example for society.
No, that's because you're young. Because there was a time in my life.
Thank you.
You freaking peaches
Lie to
and
this
cream, peaches and
man.
cream rookie. Because there was a time when that was a large motivator as to what kind of content was allowed on television. Go ahead.
So I think both things are true. It definitely was, and I think it definitely isn't. And we touched on this on a prior episode where it's sort of like the corporations are the influencers of what's being put on the regular airwaves. Because if the corporations don't like it, TV shows or the companies, they're not going to put stuff on. Because they're going to pull their money. So before, yes, there was decency. Like in the 80s, we were talking about, you had to say darn and all shucks and all that
Right.
or whatever. Like people weren't
Why you
saying
mention the
curses and
80s
stuff.
like
Yeah.
that?
Like it was a long time ago.
But now it's
I don't
all
remember the
about
90s, though.
corporate money, where these streaming companies, they seem to sort of be like detached from the corporate money. They're still getting it, but it's different types, and they're not as squeamish as regular television.
No, I think okay. So this is indicative of the change in society that we're all dealing with now. I think there's a lot of asshole douchebags that think they can do whatever they want,
Definitely.
and I think that they don't care how that impacts society or people around them. So if you're not going to respect me because you're a decent person, then you will respect me because I will make you a star in an infamous kind of way, with a double tap. So that's
you won't respect me one
right,
way
one way or the
another.
other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what's going to happen. And like I said, it does happen in Florida. You're saying I don't know anybody who's happened to. I see a lot of stuff happening in other places, but most of the people I know in Florida, if you rolled up on them talking junk to their girl, because for you that didn't see the video, and he's going to show you a piece of it. But what happened is this couple was in Vegas. This guy rolls up on the girl. He gets in her personal space. Now, again, you talk about expectation of privacy. I know a lot about that because of working cases where we were trying to get wiretaps and putting cameras and bugs, and like for different law, it varies from state to state. But like for the most part, right now in public, you have no expectation of privacy. So that means most places I could stand out with a video camera and record you, right? Because you're not in a place where there's an expectation of privacy. But I cannot invade your space doing that. And that's what happened. This guy got in this girl's face with a camera and invaded her space. She could have easily said, hey, I'm threatened.
That was a very threatening posture. Because if you're minding your business and some random guy in the streets of Vegas pulls out a phone and puts it in your camera, first of all, I don't know where you're coming from. I don't know what that is. I'm in the strange place. I'm viable to act however I feel like it and be like, oops.
Right.
You threatened me.
So that's what happened. First it was the camera, but then like I said, to go on, because I don't know if he's going to show the whole clip. Then it was the camera first, and then she tried to get rid of them, and then
Pepper spray.
No, before the pepper spray, he pepper sprayed her after he had the gun out.
Yeah, he pulled the gun out.
So then this guy pulls a gun on her.
Yeah.
The guy who invaded her space then pulls a gun on her, and
he feels threatened.
He's threatening both of them, and then at some point in time, he pepper sprays her. And then it goes on to where there's an innocent bystander that tries to come and intervene on behalf of the girl and her boyfriend. And then the guy threatens him with the gun. So then the cops end up coming and arresting these guys, and they whine like little girls, which is so cathartic. Yep. They were, gangsters till they weren't gangsters. You know what I'm saying? But anyway. So
let me ask this question to the panel here. So now that we have explained the scenario and our opinions and our feelings about what happened, what is the responsibility that the platform has to, or what should they be doing to stop encouraging this type of behavior? Or is there any responsibility they bear?
First of all, let's look at the law. First of all, right? I mean, paparazzis already have to deal with this kind of stuff. What it is you as a person can expect for being privacy. How far away from you do I have to be, right? What is the expectation? Now, we deal with this all day. Now we have body cams and this and that. So a lot of people have gone, well, you don't have the right to privacy unless this is happening. And then you mentioned earlier, well, here, depending on the state laws and stuff, well, yeah, you don't have an expectancy of privacy if you're in public, but I can't record your audio without asking your permission.
Exactly. That's an issue, but I think there has to be a way that someone that gets hurt sues the actual streaming company.
That's what's going to have to happen,
and then they'll change the laws. But I think it's going to be.
Well, do they bear responsibility for this?
Yeah, they do.
No. I think it's going to be very difficult for them to do it because what's going to happen is the same thing that we've seen in corporate America all the time. They're going to be like, "Oh, I didn't know, rogue employee. We didn't want this. They did it. Not my fault. So sorry.
We're not affiliated."
Exactly. So, we allow anybody to put stuff on here. We didn't know, blah, blah, blah.
I think that, so I like that you said that, but I disagree wholeheartedly, 150%. I think I'm going to call bullshit, and I think that civil liability and tort reform has always been an issue in this country. I think it's going to depend on what court it ends up, because that's the problem with the internet versus other things, because some of the internet sources aren't even like American or aren't even in this country to the point. No. So they may not be subject to like laws here, depending on what happens and where the company originates from or whatever. But if somebody does that, because I've seen people sued for less. If somebody hurt somebody shooting content for a specific platform that has a history or is notorious for that kind of platform, the legal system in our country is going to hold them liable. if it's not going to be criminally liable, it's going to be civilly liable. And I think that's what's going to be the catalyst. It's going to be either a combination of that, or they're going to come to the wrong states because Vegas isn't
the conversation.
Right. Vegas isn't Texas or Florida. Vegas is different. It's not that kind of freaking West. You know what I mean? It's the West, but it's not the Wild Wild West like Texas. Because it's not. You don't see it happening in Texas, do you? Why?
No.
Because it's going
You're gonna
different.
Get shot in Texas.
That's right. Well, that's what's going to happen in most places in Florida
you
too.
Get shot in Texas.
Right. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So
You can have a tiger in Texas.
that's what's going to happen. If people, again, it goes back to the thing where I'm always talking about how society is eroding so quickly. Like, we should do the right thing. Most people only do the right thing for two reasons: because they're good people, or because there are consequences. In the absence of consequences, if there are enough bad people that are doing whatever with no consequences, then they're going to keep doing what they want to, or pushing the envelope.
Integrity.
Right. So I think that what's going to have to happen is that somebody's going to have to get hurt numerous times, and people are going to have to get sued.
And the people are like,
Yeah.
Is this a bigger issue, sort of like the drug epidemic of like the 80s, where you had people that wanted to sell drugs to make money, blah, blah, blah. Now you have people that are willing to do crazy content.
Fame is the new drug, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
No matter what, to sell money.
Likes,
to get money, is that
that's
it?
all
Don't,
the new
don't
drugs.
care who they hurt. Is that
Yeah,
what
no,
we're
they
seeing
really
here?
don't. Obviously, I mean, and then you get some of this clip clearly, right? To me, they targeted a couple minding their business. So what if they were doing a
wearing the
little bit of
smush,
PDA?
you know what
Come
I'm
on,
saying?
everybody in
Yeah,
Vegas.
dude, I was livid.
They're on the bridge.
I don't know about that.
They're
but
on
you know
the
what I'm saying?
bridge looking at the waterfalls.
Right,
Like,
at the
let
Bellagio,
them
yeah.
fly. Let them
I don't know
be.
anything about that because I've never been to Vegas.
You never been to
But
Vegas?
Never been to
Nobody's ever
Vegas.
We gotta
been
shoot it.
to
We're gonna
before.
shoot a
Nobody's
play.
ever taken me to Vegas.
We're gonna
It's like-
take Line to Vegas. We're gonna do a playbook episode
I'm
in
gonna
Puerto
take you
Rico
to
and
Vegas
Vegas.
live, but you're gonna have
Lions
to pay.
loses his virginity in Vegas. I mean, they've never been to
Hey,
Vegas.
we're gonna broadcast that. We're gonna.
He's been using that V word a lot today. He goes,
V-
the veterans and the virgins. I'm like,
Yeah.
what's that supposed to mean?
I've just never done a lot of stuff in life, you know.
We're gonna pop his cherry in numerous ways.
Bebecito.
Well, anyway. So now, are we advocating for censorship? Is that what we're talking about?
No, I would never advocate for censorship.
I'm on the fence.
You know, when I was a
But
child, I
regulations
hated
must be
censorship.
put in
I'm kidding. Go ahead.
place.
Go ahead, guys.
Regulations must be put in place because some people do really need to be told.
Isn't a regulation a censorship, though?
No.
So here's what I think.
I
I think within a lot of different type of industries, you have a hybrid system where there is guardrails. However, there is freedom within those guardrails because you're protecting the general public, and that's what needs to happen here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You need to make sure because
Sounds like
any of-
censorship to me. I'm just saying.
And if it is, then it is. It's not necessarily a dirty word if you're protecting the public.
That's
because
right.
if I'm out
You're right.
and somebody
But-
comes
but-
up to me
But-
and my
but
family, they're going to
protecting
have
the
a problem.
public, because I gotta be the contrarian, you know, because I'm lion,
I like-
king of the jungle. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So protecting the public, whose decision is that?
The government,
'Cause
the government
depends-
for the country that you live in.
But it depends
I've-
who runs the. You
Because
know,
I've been to China.
But think about
I've
it.
been to Russia. I've been to some places where
I know
I've been to
exactly,
Cuba.
exactly.
So-
But think about it. To those, because it's all about perspective. To those who are in power, who have the power to censor things, they could be. I am protecting the public, so you don't get to see this type of material.
It's true.
And if that affects you, then what are we doing? So how do we balance this? Because the people that are in power sometimes are not the best people that might be the ones to regulate this
If
thing.
we're talking about American
That's the trillion-dollar
society,
question.
you know, we're talking about a puritanical beginnings and all this other stuff, and we do know that we are very much more censored country than
Absolutely.
than Europe.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
So
Hell yeah.
do I have an issue with that? Yeah, because I feel that there needs to be more exposure to things. That's why we have so many kids trying out things because
Right.
we don't talk to them about them. We don't
Deprivation.
educate them of it.
Well-
Deprivation. And I noticed that in the military.
Repression breeds deviance. I always say that. I'm talking
It
about it in
does.
my book.
It
So,
does.
so that's what you're talking about. Because I
Yes.
grew up in Europe. So, you know, people don't make a big deal out of like nudity. People don't make a big deal out of alcohol. People let kids drink wine at the table.
At 14.
So, right. So on one hand, you're talking about the difference between repression and deviance, opposing ends of the spectrum. But that's not what we're talking about here.
And on the other hand,
The other
Okay.
hand, no. The other hand.
What's third
You know what I mean? Peaches and cream. No, so yeah. No, on the other hand, we're talking about anarchy. We're talking about Americans have a tendency now over the last half a decade or decade or so, when we have a pandemic that's killing millions of people worldwide, and at the time it came out, we didn't know if it was going to be the end of the freaking world. We did not know. We didn't know if COVID was going to kill everybody. Yet you have Americans going, I shouldn't have to wear a mask. I shouldn't have to take a vaccine. It's my right not to. No, it's not your right, bro. Because if it was your right to do that, half of you freaking fucks would be dead from smallpox. So you can't just do what the fuck you want if it's going to fuck up society. You can't do it. There's a responsibility that we have if society's not smart enough to police themselves. Because I want to go full circle. You can bleep out some of the F-bombs I dropped. But anyway, I was about to get riled up.
Keep it, man.
But okay, or you can leave them in. I don't fucking care because this is serious shit. Okay, so like you can't just say I don't want my freedom. I have the freedom or the right to do all these things, because when you talk about Europe in general, first world Europe, they don't have the problems with people taking it as far as they do. There's like an invisible line of like eloquence, of class, of even when you talk about the dregs of society, they don't take it as far as Americans do. Censorship needs to exist to some degree if the people aren't going to police themselves. Sure does. You don't just get to go on the air and say whatever you want. I could go on the air and use the N-word. I can go on the air and freaking talk about, call women, derogatory terms. No, you can't just have...
Call men derogatory terms, too.
What's that?
You can call men derogatory terms. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but,
It's about equality.
But you also have to, that's a whole different thing when you look at actually who has the power, because you're only going to, if you're talking about white males with the power, if you guys want to leave this in, then you can't get away with calling them names, or it doesn't have the same impact as calling a brown person or a woman a name, because we weren't allowed to freaking vote, 75 years ago, so people can't just do whatever they want in the name of free speech or in the name of like lack of censorship, because there are lines.
It's a gray area.
Right.
It's a very gray area.
My issue. I'm sorry.
Let me highlight. Let me highlight one.
Let the guys go.
Hold on. I just want to highlight one thing. Yeah. No,
He
I do.
He doesn't want to be a gentleman.
No. I don't want to lose a moment.
I literally try.
I want to highlight the
I
moment. Want to highlight the moment because what we see a lot of is people that were in the military that say, freedom. It's my freedom. I want to do anything that I want. Blah blah blah. We all seen it on social media or whatever. And you two served in the military and are saying there needs to be guardrails.
Yes.
Yeah. Because in the absence of guardrails, in the absence
Yes.
in the absence of order, there's anarchy. Come on now.
I mean, the absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence.
And-
With that said,
No, but can I say this?
Yes, please.
of course not.
I
So,
consider
go ahead.
myself one of the most liberal people that you'll meet.
Right.
I think so. I like to pride myself that. However, I do know that there needs to be some soft guardrails.
Some censorship, okay.
There needs to be some soft guardrails, because I may think like that. I need to respect the other person, and they don't. However, do I believe that perhaps this person needs some better exposure? Probably society-wise, we need some better education. Yes, right? Is your God, what's the word I'm thinking about in English?
Describe.
Suppress.
Right. When you allow, and like we talked a little about this.
Repression
right?
breeds deviance.
Deviancy, right?
Right.
And then that's what makes people like just slingshot. They just pow.
Yep.
Let's just meet in the middle, guys. Let's be happy. I might not like the middle ground, but I need to meet you there.
Right. But the middle ground,
It's always good.
we can use the literal middle ground. And the literal middle ground in this situation is halfway between you and me, not you invading my space.
Thank you.
Because once you invade my space physically, I'm dealing with it like a physical threat.
That's where your freedom ends. But I will
Thank you,
say
but
this.
there's a very
Right.
much saying that says that your freedom ends when inconvenience is mine, something like that.
And I'll say this before we close. So, my only concern is when we bring censorship is those who are in power sometimes cannot be trusted to handle
100%.
who gets censored, because then
Agreed.
history has not served us right.
Right.
A lot of
you,
times
yes.
with our power. But what a great conversation we had today with the wonderful, entertaining Bianca here with us at the
Somewhat.
Playbook. Yeah, that was you.
Merci.
So take us home.
Yo, we're back in the studio. Make sure you look for new episodes. And if you haven't, check that Corsa Rally highlight,
It's
and
the,
also
it's the
It's a Scorsese.
it's short but
It's
good.
Scorsese.
Scorsese. It's like Scorsese
Scorsese
made it for
esque.
you. It's short but
And
good. It will leave you
powerful.
satisfied. At least one of you will be satisfied.
I like that. I like
With-
that.
At least one half of you will be satisfied with the 144. You know, that's all you need.
At
Some say that's all you need.
145 to be exact.
Some
minute
people
and
say that's
a
all
minute
you
and
need.
It's
45.
gonna be the best
1
minute
minute
and 45 seconds of
44
your life.
is
Very
all you
powerful.
need. Who needs a 10-minute, 15-minute marathon when you
When you
can be
have a-
satisfied with
in
a
a
1
minute
minute,
and
44
44
second
seconds.
video?
Who was
of a
satisfied
car
with a
rally.
minute and 45 seconds?
Like
That is a
at least
powerful
half of the
minute
people would
44.
be. You know what I'm saying?
Powerful.
It's powerful.
Doesn't matter you waited 3 months for this.
Forget a power
That
hour.
you were
He
sweet
got a
talking
power
to this.
minute, girl.
You were salivating to watch this thing, masterpiece by Scorsese himself,
AKA E.
and you get 1 minute and 44 seconds.
See,
It was a good minute
He
and
said it was the
45
best.
Let me-
seconds.
let me tell
best
you
1 minute and
something.
45 seconds
It
of your
was a
life.
good minute.
If
45.
some, let me tell you, let me leave you guys with this. If somebody in your life only gives you 1 minute and 44 seconds, it better be the best 1 minute and 44 seconds of your life. Take us home, Mr. E. Let's go.
Hey, check out that video. It'll leave you satisfied. Until
It
then,
will.
catch us next week. Later. Peace.